to the bold analysis. UDA party, through the Secretary General Cleophas Malala, is saying that they have announced counter demos mass action in Nairobi to counter the Raila Odinga team. And in a letter that they've sent, allegedly they sent, the Secretary General Cleophas Malala notified the Inspector General of Police Japhet Koome of the impending peaceful picketing. Malala explained that he will lead a team of youth to the residences of top Azimio leadership and requested police security. And areas targeted is Karen, Kitisuru, Lower Kabete, Stephen Kalonzo, Martha Karua, and UDA-Malala and Raila Odinga homes targeted. He asked IG to Koome to treat the matter urgently, explaining that it was light of Azimio's planned mass in light of Azimio's mass demonstrations scheduled for March 20th. So, I want to say that President William Ruto, the whole of this thing rests between you and Raila Odinga. The idlers that are in the middle are actually spoiling it all through. I'm calling the rest idlers because who is Malala really? Malala is the UDA Secretary General, and this will be a big blunder if you allow the protest to cascade from the CBD. It's that simple. Karen is not very far from Kibera. And when you take it, and I believe that, of course, the mass action has been called to be in town, and the Raila Odinga team had organized that the people are going to meet around KCC, or rather inside KCC, if I'm not wrong, which is a central place. Now, if you allow the protesters, and let's just argue, if you are to allow the protesters to converge in town and walk through to State House and hand over the paper or whatever they have or that memoranda to whoever that they get, then they come back to town, what can happen? When they hand over that memorandum, is that going to chase Ruto from power? Let's be realistic. Is that going to chase Ruto from power? Or just getting access to State House will be a problem? Because there is a big challenge, President Ruto. If you allow mass action to get to estates, then that's one of the indications that things can go wrong. The people that will be in the estates, maybe they will be following through the social media and TV and everything. But then, the little provocation that you can make can actually destroy things. Things can go south. Today, in the evening, just around 8, there is a confrontation that happened between some protesters who were in Jacaranda and they were just converging there, the Bunga la Wananchi camp, and a section of police officers who went there and tried to disperse them, which is not a problem. And I wondered, what was the essence of dispersing them? Because you should not take, when you repulse people and take people to the estates. I covered elections some time back, and I can tell you, the most difficult part to handle is a situation where in Kawangware people are protesting, in Mathare people are protesting, in Kibera people are protesting, somewhere every people are protesting, because when it goes to that, it becomes a total mess. It is in those corridors that the kids, innocent children, normally lose their lives. So I want to ask a question. If the protesters are supposed to go to Kitsururu and those homes, so what is the rationale? What is even the effect if Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua will be in town? So what are you going to do in the residence? Is someone going to visit maybe Ida Odinga or so? What does it have to do with their personal residence? For example, why is it not that protesters decided to go to Karen or Karen residence of Rigathi Gachagua? The State House is a state property. which is a state office. So that is why the people, I don't think the reason I'm going to state house because someone is going to someone's private residence. If someone is saying he's going to Raila Odinga's private residence, is state house William Ruto's private residence? Okay, now that you're countering, is state house William Ruto's private residence? I think we're in a situation where we need to be very careful. We need to make the right decisions. And even if in panic or in some sort of a crisis, we must pull the right trigger. And I'm just wondering this. The police boss said that there is a plan. There was a request by some Nairobi business community group to protest, and that's why they don't want the Azimio team to go on with that. Fine. Again, later on, and that is why that was submitted, and that is why he said that they're not going to allow Azimio to do the mass protest to get to entry to CBD because they're different factions, Nairobi business community, which is normally believed just amorphous group of goons, if you ask me. Then UDA as a party is also mobilizing some group, which according to me is maybe shall have delivered. So on what grounds will you ban that mass action by Raila Odinga and call this one? Where do you weigh, or what exactly is the intention? I am saying this because from what I am seeing, I think because the intelligence might have realized, and William Ruto knows this, that in terms of pulling the crowd, people to go to town, pulling the numbers in town, that is not a problem. The numbers might get there. So what would then that mean is you also want to pull people, you want to also to pull Kenyans who subscribe to UDA ideas. So that it does not just come out that only Raila Odinga supporters are in town. Probably you want to create a split screen where if some protesters with white handkerchiefs are in some other location, there are also some pro-UDA Kenyans that are also converging somewhere protesting about the said mass action. Now, these protesters, these Malala's goons, what are they protesting about? Are they protesting against a protest? Or they're protesting against the government? And is there a ground to protest about a protest? We are simply getting things wrong. Because you cannot create a ground for confrontation. You can create a situation where there is another group protesting someone. And we are in a digital age where a very simple thing that maybe those who are protesting on the UDA side have maybe done something. And you never know. We must be careful because we can get into something where we cannot even then control the said masses. Let's take an example where a peaceful protest is going on Azimio wing, and the other side of those Malala's friends, they've made a mistake. Or Raila Odinga's team, the Azimio team, might have a confrontation with the police on this side of town. Then those who are also protesting against the mass action hear that because we are in a digital age and people happen to know that. Are we going to turn town to chaotic scenes? Or if you want it to be peaceful, is bringing people to counter mass action a strategy against it? Do we lack strategies? Now that people are saying about Raila is using old tricks, but are we also using old tricks against it? I'm speaking about this because there's some things that don't just make. Malala is saying that they should be allowed to be given. So why is it that mass action by the team is being being banned, while the other one by the UDA people is being accepted? What's it? What aren't we getting right? Do you want to tell us? And who has said that we're going to destroy people's property? So I want to ask a simple question. The security strategists. So if things go wrong and the properties are destroyed in a confrontation where those pro-Raila and those pro-Ruto clash and property of Raila property is destroyed or people lose lives, who are we going to blame? Do you still want to apportion blame on Azimio wing? Because Azimio have said we want peaceful protest. You're bringing people in town saying that we want to counter. Are you also going to make a peaceful protest against it? Look at what happened in Kisumu. It's not something that can be supported. So I'm a little bit confused. What exactly are we talking about? Is that really what it was meant to be? Because things don't just add up. If we mean well, and this is my point, I can say here and repeat, Raila Odinga and the team can have a peaceful protest. It is possible. I know that people are just taking scripts of the past. This can be different. It is possible for Raila to have the march, work with the team, and if they get to that state house, they're not mad, they will give that memorandum, come back to town, and I can tell you, if you even allow it, within like 2 hours, the euphoria will go down. But when you try erecting roadblocks, that's where the problem comes in. One of them will be the focus should not be derailed to security. And let me say, we are even opening avenues for propaganda. Maybe there is no one who shall access Raila Odinga's residence, or maybe there is no one who shall have accessed Kalonzo Musyoka's residence. But you are giving fodder for propaganda. How about if somehow some thieves take advantage and maybe they raid someone's home, for it to be blamed on them, and before you know, that information is in public that someone's home has been raided. Are we going to change mass action to raiding people's homes? Remember, they're also different. We need to be very realistic. Some of these things we are doing them because of out of emotions, ama tuonekana kwamba we are doing, but we are just making wrong decisions. That should not be the direction. Allow that protest happen, wacha wamalize. If you protect, there is no property. Around KICC, people are walking all that way. So, which property is there yenye itapigwa? Mtu anataka kupiga parliament? Or what? What exactly? There is no shop which is going to be open. All shops are closed. So, whose shop is going to be robbed? If you know that there is a protest, don't take your car to town. Don't take your car to town. So that this thing can be done without the dramas. I think we need to punguza these dramas. That's my take.